Welcome back, everybody. Happy New Year. All right. Are we grooving? I'll tell you about this tribute groove a little bit later. But now, right now, I just want to say hello to everybody. Can you guys hear me okay? Sound is good? Welcome, everybody. Roseanne, thanks for being here, and thank you for your help earlier. Roseanne helped me with some technical stuff. Welcome, Jack, Sue, Rebecca, Jorge, Lacey, Cornelius, my man. Nice to be here. Nancy's here. Thanks for the tip, Jack. Alex is here. Tom is here. Thanks for the super chat contribution. Appreciate that. Geneva, is that right? Is here. And I think we're all caught up. Audio is great for now. Cornelius, what do you think about my bass groove, huh? Come on, man. I dug this thing. I haven't played it in like a year, but I did my best. I'll tell you about the instruments. Welcome, Daryl. Yeah, a little cha-cha to start the year. Kind of a little mambo vibe. This is a Tito Puente throwback. I'll give 20 points to anybody who can come up with a name of this. The name of the song. And I'll tell you a little bit later if you don't know. But yeah, I had this on my mind today. For some reason, I just had this. I was thinking about this groove because I remember it from back in the day, back in college when I first heard this. And so what did I do? I stopped my, oh, there we go. I was poking around my phone just now. So, yeah, it's not Oyo Como Va, but it is a 3-word title. I'll tell you guys a little bit later. Yeah, I'm just digging this groove right now. So I'll go back and I'll play a little bit more flute. I don't get to play my B minor flute much, but this just happened to end up in the key of D major. And I can play my little my B minor flute, which I just got this last summer. And don't you guys love this? This is made by Brent Haynes, Wood Sounds Flutes. So if you want to learn more, go to Wood Sounds. I think it's woodsounds.com, but Wood Sounds Flutes. Brent Haynes, my buddy, over near Salt Lake City, Utah. He makes amazing flutes. I think some of the best, if not the best in the world. All right. Okay. Yeah. What do you guys think? I love playing the bass. I know I usually play ukulele, but I'll try to incorporate it. Yeah, so how are you guys doing? Happy New Year, 2024. Welcome, Jesse. It's nice to see all you guys. Yeah, so let's review some of the instruments I used on that. I like to give a shout out to, of course, all of our manufacturers and the people that contribute to me and therefore you, because I use a lot of the stuff people contribute, of course, for the Tuesday Museday and for my other videos that I do. Hey, Chris, welcome. Happy New Year. So in that, I started with the bass, right? The little U bass. And I've had this one for a few years. It's a little small scale electric bass. And this tune, and I forgot the name already. Let me look it up again. Hold on. Timonbo, Timonbo, 3 words. And I want you guys to look that up because it's awesome. All right, Timonbo, and Tito Puente did it first on an album. I think it was 1956. Amazing. That's on Apple Music, I know for sure. And then later, Claire Fisher recorded it. And I talked to my buddy Brian Kilgore, who's been on the channel, and he gave me a bunch of resources and a bunch of information. So thank you, Brian, for that. Welcome, Daryl. Yeah, you guys, if you're a fan, of salsa music or percussion, go listen to Timonbo, Timonbo. All right. Yeah, Daryl said I saw Tito 5 times. Awesome. That's awesome. All right, so do that, and then if you can, listen to the Claire Fisher and Salsa Picante. It's called Claire Fisher and Salsa Picante. I knew I had the LP at one point. It's got I think it's got like a can of, it says salsa, and then it's on fire on the cover. I think something like that. Claire Fisher and Salsa Picante. And at least check out the music of Claire Fisher. He's a piano player, organ player, genius. Genius, amazing. I went to college with his son, Brent Fisher, who's a bass player. So that brings us back to bass. But on Timonbo, it's just bass and then percussion. There's a güiro. I kind of emulated it here, except the difference would be it's timbales, congas, bongos, and a güiro and bass. And you guys got to check it out. It's amazing. All right, so that was kind of, I don't know, it just popped into my head. And I tried to sort of emulate the vibe, and the bass line's a little bit different, but I have limited skills, so I did the best I can with what I have, which is what you should all do. Do the best you can with what you have, and I bet it'll be pretty good, So, all right, let's get to instruments. So we started with the bass, and then we had a güiro, and this is just a weird kind of touristy. This is actually a CP percussion güiro. The traditional güiros are gourd, right? And these, I think of these as sort of like classroom güiros or like touristy güiros or music store glass case güiros. They're okay. It sounds fine, right? It sounded perfectly, I mean, it's fine. I actually love I love that sound. It's not quite, it's a little tighter and just like you can tell it's made of wood and it's not like a gourd, I think. All right, so that's that. And then I did some cowbell and the clave with the native tongue percussion mounted cowbell here and the wood block over here for the clave sound. And then I added bongos, right? Bongos over here, and then congas. And that's pretty much it. And then on the breaks, because I stopped the looper, right, for the break, I just kind of emulated. If you listen to the recording, that's the break, the rhythm they play. They just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, and 3, 4. Boom. That's a 2-bar break. And I was adding the Shake Hat by Ben Elan. You guys know Ben, and the Shake Hat is over here on the hi-hat stand. So I kind of maximized the ensemble sound with that. All right, and that's it. Those are all the instruments, and then the flute, Brent Haynes. That happens to be a B minor, and I think it sounds pretty good. And it's a 2-chord thing. It's just D to A7, basically. D to A. 1-5, right? You gotta love a 1-5 groove. All right, how are you guys doing? Do you want to say? I know you're saying hello in the comments, but maybe any percussion, new percussion gifts that you received. And then if that's not happening yet, maybe a New Year's resolution musical. I'm resolving to practice a little more regularly, especially hand drumming. And I'll be honest with you guys, I have developed lately. I've developed a little bit of arthritis in my knuckles, which I'm not happy about. Mostly because it hurts sometimes. So I have to be careful about how I warm up. And I did warm up a bit. Like today, I was in here about an hour earlier and I just warmed up. I'm playing, I'm practicing. I usually go over what I'm going to do at the top of the show, to practice it a little bit. What am I going to do first? How am I going to loop things? What are the settings? Because especially with bass, I wanted to do the bass dry with a little compression. And then I switch over to bongos, add a little reverb, but I have to turn the mic down, blah, 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 blah. And I kind of have to rehearse my choreography a little bit and get the levels and everything. And so I'll usually, not always, sometimes I just come in here with an idea and I do it. I grab a few instruments and I just go for it. But today I figured I need to experiment a little bit with the mics and the settings, and I have different things that I have to put different sounds on. I also added a little filter. Let me play this for you. I added a little filter called the low pass filter on the bass, and I can do some cool things with it. Let me show you. So this is actually with the filter off, and then I'm gonna turn it on, and I can change it. So if I want it really rounded out with no highs, and then I can open it up, and that's open. So I had it kind of backed off a little bit. So it's just kind of round and muffled, a little more muffled. And that got rid of all the metal clinking sounds. Because I'm kind of an amateur bass player and it's not that clean. But you know what? That's why we have technology. All right, good. I see you guys are adding some things into make bed every morning. That's good, Cornelius. You got to start somewhere. I'm a bed maker. I admit it. I like to see the bed made before I leave the bedroom. But you know what? I'm not judging. My wife's not a bed maker. She doesn't make the bed, but I make the bed, so it gets made. And right, play more flamenco guitar. Need to get back to practicing after moving. Oh, your congas are still in boxes. Well, that's okay. You can start playing the boxes like cajones and then move to the drums. Yeah, so good. You got a cabasa, Jack, kalimba, and a cajon. What? And a hi-hat and cymbals? Are you kidding me? And concert jingle bells? Oh my God. You're a very good boy. Apparently so. Apparently better than most. All right. Yeah, the jackpot. Jack hit the jackpot. All right. That's awesome, you guys. All right. Well, speaking of holiday cheer, it's time. You know what's coming. It's time for Guess the Sound! All right. Here we go. I'm going to add a little reverb just because I can. All right. What is the name of the instrument? Any guesses? It does have a name. I will accept a range of names. However, not the metal thingy, Cornelius. So stop typing. What do you guys think? That is a magical sound. It's also very heavy. I have to set it down. All right, Cornelius says metal tingy. Is that tingy? Metal tingy, metal tiny thing, tingy. A thwangy thing. All right, well, Lacey says a whole bunch of triangles lined up in a row. I mean, you guys are getting close. Welcome Z1. Xylophone is good guess, but no, it's not a xylophone. And yes, Roseanne. Roseanne wins with the guess of bell tree. It is a bell tree. This is a massive bell tree. It used to be in a stand, and then I took it out of the stand so I could mount it on a like a percussion rack, percussion setup. And so, yeah, let me give you a little bit closer look in the side camera. So this is a lot of bells, and boy, this thing is heavy. These are all brass, and oh man, I was gonna try to hold it sideways. Let me get my leg up here. Shawarma, anyway. looks like I'm about to serve some street food up here. But listen, it's like this. So, yeah. So I have a smaller bell tree over there, a handheld one, but this one sounds the best. Nothing but the best for you guys. So yeah, bell tree. It should be a gyro, right? From Wiro to Yero. Happy New Yearo, everybody. All right, you knew the dad jokes were coming, or the bad puns had to get in here somewhere. Oh my God, that is so heavy. All right, well, good job, Roseanne. I'll give you the 20 points that I was going to give to somebody for naming the song, but since I already named the song, points are yours. And since I have the music mindfulness slide up, why don't we talk just for a moment about a concept that comes up in music, around music, and also in mindfulness, which is judgment, right? Judgment. So let me just give you a spiel really quick. And if you guys want to add anything in the comments, I think that's great. It's difficult as a musician sometimes to deal with judgment, especially if you're publishing online. Like these days, people like to publish things. But even back in the day, when you go do a gig or you make a recording or you do a show or whatever. And, sometimes people will say stuff, they'll judge what you're doing because people like to be art critics, right? It's okay. Like everybody has an opinion, right? And that's okay. And just what helps me, you guys, even when I'm judging myself, is sometimes we have voices, in our own mind. And artists tend to be hard on themselves, right? Because we want to do our best, but sometimes we're only finding the flaws, in what we're doing, or other people are only finding the flaws. And you think, wow, I'm really trying hard, and it would be nice if just to have some positive reinforcement, some positive vibes. So, I think for one thing, you have to accept that when somebody says something, they're not necessarily talking about you. They're talking about what they think about something, and that's really more about them, right? It's just like anything. It's like politics. People will sometimes use they'll use anything to make whatever point they want to make or to say whatever they want to say, right? You guys know that. Sometimes you start talking, you could start talking about anything. You could just talk about an apple, and somebody will, you know, turn it into some discussion on whatever topic they want to talk about, right? Because you can basically go anywhere. You can go into any subject, any area from any other area because everything's connected, and it just takes one or two, three steps, and you're over there. You're way over on the side, not where you intended to be. But in terms of criticism, whether it's coming from somebody else or it's coming from you, um, just say, yeah, okay, sure, that's maybe, that's an opinion, right? Oh, that's an opinion. Oh, that's a thought, right? But none of that stuff is true. All that's true is you play, you do something, you create something, and then it's there, and that's what you did, right? And I think as long as we're doing our best, that's the most important thing. We're just putting something out there with the intention of creating something, and if person X doesn't feel it, if that's not their thing, that's okay. They can go somewhere else and find something else. It doesn't mean that you have to change what you're doing, right? So I think sometimes we are even harder on ourselves, and even when you do self talk, and you're judging yourself, you can also do the same thing. You can say, well, that's a thought. It's okay. I have thoughts. You can't really control your thoughts, but you can accept them and just let them be, right? Just let them be out there. It's like pieces of paper, right? It's written on a piece of paper. It gets thrown at you. You read it. You go, okay, well, that's an idea. I don't know. Is it true? Who knows? You know. Um, and I'm not saying we should just say whatever, to anything. I mean, it's great to get feedback, but a lot of the time, people's feedback is always subjective. It's always about them. So it's okay. It just is what it is. But I wouldn't don't take it personally, and just remember that whatever you hear, even if you're telling yourself something, that's just one idea. It's one look. It's one kind of angle. It's one perspective at a look at something from one angle, in one moment in time, and it doesn't really mean that much. Um, Certainly, we can always practice and try to do better and improve, but don't let the critics bring you down. Nobody that's successful has taken too much to heart. Some people like to argue and fight and debate stuff, but I think just let it go. Just let people do whatever they want. It's kind of like when I'm driving, and there's people trying to race through on the freeway. I don't get into it. If somebody's coming up behind me and they get right on, I just move over and say, "Go ahead." Probably better if you get as far away from me as possible. So just like let people through, let them go through. It's like traffic. Don't start fighting, because then bad things can happen. Um, but yeah, if you guys have anything else, like Roseanne just said, feedback can be constructive, but in any case, don't take it personally. Exactly. It's all just words. Words are cheap. Words are like rain. It just falls on stuff, and then it dries up. It's not a big deal. Don't lose sight of your goal and your dream, and your personal joy from doing it. And I think that's a great reason to play music and to practice, is if you get some joy out of it, then you are winning, right? You're getting the joy, and just enjoy that, right? That's all we have to do. All right. Let's move on to, because we're about at the halfway point, and I like to start thinking about our Gimme 5, right about now. So let's do that. Let me see. Where are we? There we are. I like to have the correct lower third. Um, And if you guys have any requests, if I can do them comfortably without, without rummaging through too many shelves, I'm happy to do it. We'll create something for the new year, or I could do another version of what I did, or I have ukuleles, we have flutes, we have the congas, of course. Here, I'm kind of set up for congas, bongos, bells. I've got the wood block, and I've got the cajon down here too, so we can do that. Now, yeah, if you don't know what the Gimme 5 is, yeah, that's good, Roseanne. Just ask. I think everybody here knows what it is. We've done it a bunch of times. And by the way, this is number what? 57, I think. Tuesday Museday 57. So we're into our second year now. And look at you guys showing up. I really do appreciate that. Like, I know it's kind of hard, and it's not the most convenient time. Like here on the West Coast, it's 5 p.m. It's not a great time, to be honest, to do a live stream. But I don't want to leave the people on the East Coast out. And if we go later here, it's going to be too late there. So, you just got to split the difference. But we've had people here from Europe. We've had people here from Asia. So, it's all good. So you guys figure out the Gimme 5. And maybe what I'll do is I'll play a little background music. I kind of want to, I'm going to grab an ukulele because I want to hear what it sounds like if I add it to this groove that I created earlier. Let's make sure we're in tune. Cornelius, it's like cowbell, 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 cowbell. I could do that, actually. That's not necessarily a bad idea. It did cross my mind. Believe it or not, I was thinking about that because I just did that video on the cowbells. And I thought about getting out a bunch of cowbells. So maybe we'll do that. All right, let's see if this works. Let's see. That kind of works, right? I think that works. Isn't this nice wood, you guys? This is mango wood. That is a mango wood ukulele. by Enya, not the singer. All right, are we getting close to Gimme 5? Let me know. All right, we have a Gimme 5. Chris. All right, Chris Kemp. Bell-tree, bongos, congas, cowbell, ukulele. You know, you're in the first three letters of the alphabet until the last until the last instrument. But I like that. Yeah, bell-tree, bongos, congas, cowbell, ukulele. And can you give me any more information, any more requests, anything else? Any other criteria? Tempo, style, meter. And I want to remind you guys, if you want to dedicate, you want to have a dedication, you can let me know and we'll just dedicate it. Just because we can. All right, so take a second with that, Chris. I'm gonna get everything organized here. So I have bongos, congas, cowbell, ukulele's over there. So let me grab that. And I will be back in a second. You know, the bell tree can be used in different ways. Okay, it's up to me. All right. It could be used in different ways, and I was kind of thinking maybe, you know, maybe we do something a little esoteric. So we'll see. Cornelius, sorry, I don't have room for anybody to crash at my house, but if you send me an email, kalanidas@gmail.com, I'll see. I can ask around and see. And there's also, I'm very far from the NAMM show actually too. I'm like an hour with no traffic. So I would recommend you getting an Airbnb down by Anaheim, which is what I've done in the past. I don't even drive from home because it's not worth it. Just go down there and stay somewhere down there. But send me an email if you want, kalanidas@gmail.com. All right, let me let me see. Let me get something going over here. Pick a tempo. And maybe a feel. Let me see. Hmm. All right. I gotta erase the looper, and I think I'm going to also change the durations a little bit of a couple of the tracks. Shall we start with Beltry? All right, here we go. All right, hang on. I'm not sure what that was about. Oh my goodness. Okay. So that's called taking chances. I kind of liked it though. I mean, it had a vibe. All right. Are we doing okay? You guys still there? I see some people. Oh my goodness. Nothing like just completely going way out in left field on a live stream, but I think that's what we're here for, is just to try stuff out. If you guys were all here with me and we were doing like a master classy kind of thing, I would just do the same thing. I'd be like, oh, let's just try this. Yeah, and it's all good. I think if you thanks Chris, he said very nice. I think if you just get into something, like here's a good lesson for you guys. And let's leave it at this. If you start into something, even if you're not sure about it, you know how they say, jazz is like you play something and it's kind of, you feel like it's a mistake and then you just play it two more times. I think Miles Davis has a quote like that. You just repeat something four times and it'll sound like you meant it. But really, in all seriousness, there's a lot of value in going somewhere where you don't feel entirely sure of yourself and you don't feel entirely comfortable, and you might even recoil a little bit, like, I don't think this is the right way. This is not what this isn't what I wanted. It's not what I planned. But at the same time, that's how people invent stuff. That's how new paths get found. I mean, it's like, how many inventions have come about because somebody did something else than they were planning. And I think music, that, like, just when you guys practice and you play, now I'm not saying it's always the time to experiment. There's sometimes where yeah, you want to play the gig and do a good job and not be crazy. But yeah, Chris just wrote, left field is an excellent place to find ourselves. It's exactly. So take chances, like, be vulnerable, try things out. It's okay. It's okay, as long as you're not like a nuclear physicist or something. And if you're doing, like, germ science or something, don't experiment too much if you're a germ scientist. But for the rest of us who are just playing conga drums and bongos, it's fine. And you also realize, like, hey, something, I could create something that I wasn't planning on, and I can try to extract some value from it, even if it's like weird. And that wasn't even that weird. There's a lot of people that make music way weirder than what I just did. But just in case you were thinking, oh my God, this is strange, I encourage you to go into that area of strangeness. And actually, you know what? I want to give a shout out to my friend and colleague, Brad Dutz. Brad was on the channel. He's been on the channel doing Bones. He did some Bones videos. But look up Brad Dutz, Dutz, and check out some of Brad's music. It's very cool. He's very experimental, really just out there music. But actually very he composes pieces that sound like really random, which I respect a lot. So, all right, you guys. And Kenneth says, as a 70s mindfulness person, 2 thumbs up. All right. I have 2 thumbs. I will give you a 2 thumbs up. So have a good week, you all, and I'll see you next week. Barring, if I have to do a family trip. Oh, I do want to say, well, those of you who know me on Facebook know that, and I hate to be a downer. If it's not a downer, it's a good thing. My father lived to 98 years old, and he had an easy transition out, and let's just leave it at that. But I might have to attend some family functions, and I'm not sure when that is. So it might be on a Tuesday. He was a great guy. He had a great life. It's all good. No regrets. He was a good man, and I'm proud to be his son and lucky to have him as a father. So thank you guys for being here. And I'll see some of you on our Patreon site coming up. We have Carolyn Brandy, excellent Afro-Cuban musician, just percussionist and a person. She's going to be doing one of our master classes. We're having master classes every month now. I added that as a feature to our Patreon site. So maybe we'll see you over there. And if not, we'll see you again on a Tuesday Museday. Thanks to Roseanne. Thanks to all of you for showing up. Have a wonderful rest of your evening. And I will see you guys. I'll see you guys next week.
World Drum Club.